Now, the episode is released. Blood draw, bloodletting, and vampirism. So you got to listen to the episode as soon as you can. It's really important. I'm going to give you a couple of tips, like run a couple of things by you, why this episode is so important. Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. Just so there's no confusion, it's not this episode on the YouTube. It's the podcast episode, Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. Link is in the description. Share it with anyone, everybody you know. Just share it with the trees. Okay? Share it with trees. All right? Trees have their own iPhones now. They have their own Androids. Share it with the trees. Okay? They need to hear it too. Listen, you guys. Well, actually, they get tapped for maple syrup. They get tapped for maple water. They don't get tapped for blood. Listen, you guys. This episode, you just got, oh my God, Christy Spears just got finished listening to it. Amazing. Blew my mind. Oh my God. That's incredible. Choda, this podcast was incredible. Worth the wait. Everyone needs to listen. Yeah, to protect them. It's critical to protect people. This is so important. Yeah, you guys, I have a watermelon right here, right? See the watermelon? That's one of the tips in the podcast episode. Remember, watermelon, really important. Remember, I'll talk about it in a little bit. Okay, also got a brain right here in front of me. Going to talk about the brain a little bit, why this is critical information. Pam Frazier, just watched the podcast, an eye-opener since I got my blood tested a couple of weeks ago and now have weakness in my leg and vertigo. Yes, it's what I've been talking about. This is the very thing that brings people back notches in your health. Thank God you got medical medium information, because you can move forward and get yourself strong again. Rebecca, one of my doctors, took 39 vials of blood at once. I don't even know what to say right there. That's just awful. I'm so sorry. So sorry about it. Yeah, Simply Healing, watermelon. You saw it. I saw you pop up there. 39 vials of blood. This is probably one of the most important episodes. This should, if you guys can help me get this episode out there. There's no advertisements. There's no commercials. So I'm not making money off of it. Okay? Because podcasters want their podcast episodes shared so they can make money, right? That's not happening. This is about working for the chronically ill. That's a free episode. I don't have any advertisers on there paying me money why people listen. It's there just so people can heal, get their lives back. You can't miss this blood draw, bloodletting, and vampirism episode, Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcasts. Now listen, if you hear the episode some other platform, it's not Apple Podcast, then there's going to be little pieces missing. I'm just going to there's a good chance. So Apple Podcast is where the uncensored version is, Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast. Okay? Share the podcast episode with everybody you can to help them heal. I'm going to talk about the podcast episode a little bit. So once you guys, if you're coming on, I want to be able to give you the rundown on this. Okay, what it's about. I have my celery juice. Going to drink a little bit. Dr. Fawn will share. I'm honored. Truly honored. Amazing MD. Truly, truly honored. Maddie Schilling says she's almost done listening. Whoa. She got a little fireball next to there too. So you guys, this episode's really critical because what happens is the industry, not the doctors, it's not their fault. It's not the doctor's fault. The industry has trained the medical communities to take too much blood from us. Okay? And this leads to a couple questions that I've seen on social media that I want to answer too while I'm here. So yeah, if you don't have it on Apple, you can go to themedicalmedium.com, look at the podcast there. You can just dial it up right there and make it happen, no matter what device you're using, so you can learn how to do it. Other people can help you, share how that's done too. Anyway, good to see you guys on here. Let's cover this for a couple of minutes and talk about it. So, Jerry, what's the podcast about? It's about getting your blood tested. It's about blood draw, getting your blood drawn. They take too much blood, period. That's what they do. This is an episode about protecting you. So when you get your blood tests, when you get your blood drawn, you can protect your immune system, protect your body, because blood draw sets people back and it keeps a lot of people sick for the rest of their life. They go to their doctor and their immune system's removed in their blood draw. And then that blood they take all gets thrown away except for a smidgen of it. And what happens is your white count goes out. Boom. You get the blood draw and your white count goes out with it, okay? Your white blood cells, they all go out with it. And what people don't understand is your immune system is there to protect your heart. Okay? It's to protect your heart. That's what your immune system is there for. It's to protect your heart. And what happens is that your immune system is in your bloodstream, so you don't get an infection to the heart or an infection to the brain. Really important to know. And what they do is they remove with negligence a big hunk of our blood. 7 vials, 5 vials, full vials, 7 full vials, 9 full vials, 10, 11, 39 vials, like someone was just talking about earlier, right? And they remove it, and your immune system goes out with it, is what happens. When it goes out with it, you're susceptible. You're susceptible to fibromyalgia, MS, tingles and numbness, aches and pains, ringing in the ears, vertigo, dizziness. You're susceptible to PCOS more, susceptible to endometriosis, susceptible to HPV. So what happens is all these women, right, and all these men, they go to get their blood tested, men and women, and they draw the same amount of blood from a 220-pound male, 6'5", 220, 230-pound male. They draw the same amount of blood that they would a 100-pound female. That's what they do. And there's so many holes in all of this. So you got to learn how to protect yourself. Listen to this podcast episode. It's not this YouTube episode right here I'm live right now in this YouTube episode. It's not this YouTube episode. It's the podcast episode, Medical Meme Podcast at Apple Podcasts. I just released it. Okay, so it's important. Okay, you had no idea blood draw was bad. I'm glad you brought it up. Courtney said, I'm glad you're here. There's a way to get your blood drawn. There's a way to get your blood tested. And I talk about it in the podcast episode because I believe in getting your blood test. I believe in getting your blood drawn, right? But as you get sicker with your health conditions, they draw more blood. They remove your immune system every time. They draw more blood and they remove your immune system is what they do. You get sicker. It keeps people sick for 20 years with Hashimoto's, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, acne, aches and pains, eczema, psoriasis. It keeps them sick forever. And medical medium information battles this. So when you take medical medium information in your life and you're healing, we're up against the blood they're taking. You see how it works? So here you are, I'm doing the heavy metal detox smoothie, the medical medium heavy metal detox smoothie. I'm doing the medical medium celery juice. I'm taking care of myself. I'm doing the spinach soup. I'm doing the healing broth. I'm doing the meditations. I'm doing all this stuff to get myself better and to get myself better. I'm doing the mono eating. I'm doing the different supplement protocols. And what happens is medical medium information is moving you forward, and then you go get your blood drawn, and then boom, they move you backwards like that. Now you're backwards. That's what they do. So, Jerry, don't you make more blood cells? Yes. And in the episode, I talk about what happens if you're already sick, you already got fibro, you already got some kind of condition, you're already dealing with some kind of symptom, right? That's why people, it's just everybody's got a symptom, right? Chronic sinusitis, UTIs, whatever people get. They're already sick with things, cystitis, aches and pains, fatigue. Their immune system's already low. They're already struggling. They need their immune cells to be at the top of the game, top of their game, okay? But what happens is, all right, they're already having immune complications. They then draw all this blood constantly, and you get sicker because of it, because your immune system is being removed. And when your immune system's removed, your problems get worse. And then, guess what? They draw more blood. You're sick? You're getting sicker? Yeah, I just don't feel good. It's been a month now and I'm feeling kind of worse. My symptoms are persisting. I need to go to a specialist now. And what do they want? They want 20 tubes now drawn. and you go backwards. This is a bloodletting technique the top of the industry does to take people out. It is not a good thing. And you got to listen to it. Link is in the description. You want to hear it. Link is in the description. Go to Medical Medium Podcast at Apple Podcast to hear the blood draw, bloodletting, vampirism episode. Margaret, hey, someone, they went up there. I try to read them as fast as I can. Lorraine's there. Boop. Yeah, so look, the whole point is this is good information that could be life-saving for many people, helpful for many people. Margaret said, someone try the link. Did it work? I hope so. The link is in the description. Should take you there so you can hear the episode. You don't want to miss this episode. So I talk about this episode, as far as watermelon being one of the tools to help you when you get your blood drawn. And it doesn't mean it's going to save you because you get too much blood drawn and we get in trouble. But I also give you tips of what to tell the doctor, what to ask the doctor. Okay? Like, there's all kinds of questions you're going to have. They'll be answered in the episode. So that's important. We lose electrolytes. That's why the watermelon's important. We lose electrolytes. It's one thing right there. When we get our blood drawn. And that's so I give you tips on how to protect yourself. And then I talk about donating blood too. Blood donations, donating blood, how to protect yourself so we can give life-saving blood for other people that get into bad car accidents, that need a life-saving surgery. You know, they need their heart, valves replaced, and they may need or people who need blood transfusions because they're losing blood for some reason, right? I want people to be able to donate blood, but blood donating can also be detrimental and bring you to a place of a very ill person, and bring you to a place of needing to actually get a blood transfusion someday, taking you to a place of in a bad way if you're not protecting yourself. I talk about if you're sick with chronic illness, you shouldn't give blood. But it should be for the people who are healthy and strong or feel healthy and strong. And even when they do it, there's ways of protecting themselves. Before you donate blood, there's a way to protect yourself, and after you donate blood, because I want people to be able to donate blood. Absolutely. But at the same time, a lot of people with a lot of symptoms donate blood. A lot of women, they feel like it's their duty and they want to donate blood. And because men don't really donate blood. You know, it's mostly women. That's who donates blood. So the whole planet is really women that are donating blood, but men aren't. So anyway, just, not as many. It's like, so here's what's happening. We got, with donating blood, we got women that are struggling with their health. Fatigue from low-grade viruses, Epstein, Barr. They got fibromyalgia. They're the ones donating blood. We got women that are actually struggling with Lyme disease. They're donating blood. It's like something's wrong with the system, because that's a risky area, because now we're losing our immune system by donating blood while we're sick. And then I talk about how they take just as much blood in a donation from a female as they would a male. So you got a 250-pound male, they'll just take the same pint as they'll take from a 90-pound woman. They don't even question it. Like, hey, wait a minute, she's 92 pounds, she's got fibromyalgia, she doesn't feel good, let's just take a whole pint from her. I mean, the whole system's just deranged. I talk about it. I'm not saying you can't donate. I want people to donate blood. I'm all supportive of it. But the system's not protecting women that are sick when it comes down to donating blood. They don't say for a whole week you should know how to take care of yourself and get yourself ready for the blood donation. And then after the blood donation, how to protect yourself after the blood donation. See, so much information in this episode. I think you guys have to see it. So, and then you're going to get, there's a question I hear out there, a couple questions. Well, women bleed, they have their cycle. So you mean to tell me what's going on with that? Well, that's a natural process of life, okay? That's a process of life that your immune system as a woman is ready for. Because 80% of your immune system goes to the reproductive system during menstruation. There's a reason for that. When you bleed having a period, it's not even a fraction of the blood they take or draw with big blood draws. That's a whole nother thing all on its own. It's a smaller amount of blood with tissue, shedding of the uterus lining. So it's not. And then when a woman is in a serious condition where they're bleeding too much with their periods, where they're hemorrhaging, it's devastating and life-threatening. Exactly. That's why we have to worry about blood draws. That's why we have to worry about taking so much blood from women and some men too. Well, of course, not with the menstruation thing, but with everything else. Men don't go through that. But for women with the menstruation cycle and the natural process that they go through, it's if they're hemorrhaging and too much bleeding, yes, that's a major concern. A lot of women, they get in trouble with that. But that's what I'm trying to say. But no one's saying when we take 39 vials from a woman, we take 39 vials from a 104-pound woman, or 110 or 120 pound, take 39 vials, 35 vials, 22, 28 vials. No one's talking about that. That's different than a cycle. It's different than a natural cycle or a normal cycle where there's a little bit of blood and then some lining, some shedding of the lining. It's really the whole system is all not where it should be. It's the information in this is mind-blowing, truly. One donation can save up to 3 lives with each whole blood donation. Absolutely, Regina, and I believe in blood donating, of course. But look, who's looking out for the people donating blood? Are they asking them questions? Are they asking them the questions they should ask them? There's so many variables. Are they looking to see if they're 110 pounds and maybe there should be a different way of handling it? Are they looking at their health history, really looking at it, symptoms and different things they're going through? Are they looking at other exposures they're having? Are they having stress in their life? Are they looking at that? Because I've seen a lot of people donate blood and get a lot sicker, and then they're bedridden because they had conditions and symptoms. They weren't the same weight as a 250-pound male who's 6'5". They were 125 pounds with a little bit of fibromyalgia, some acne, and some psoriasis. And what happened was they donated their pint, and then they were set backwards for months in their healing, and sometimes actually in their healing throughout their whole life. So, dealing with their conditions. But yes, we want to get healthy and donate blood, but we want to protect yourselves. No one's saying when you donate blood, why don't we get your electrolytes really strong? Because we're about to take a pint of blood from you. So let's get your electrolytes strong. Let's make sure you're doing melon every day, celery juice, cucumber juice before you go in and deliver a pint of life-saving blood for somebody else. They're not doing that. And besides that, okay? And so I'm giving you tips in this episode so you can donate blood if that's where your heart's at. The point is you got to listen to it. Its link is in the description, okay? Educating myself. The magnitude of info he processes is mind-blowing. I'm blown away, okay? Because the information in this episode, just like the other 17 episodes, the Medical Meme podcast, is jam-packed. I can't even tell you guys. That's not true. You can't even donate blood that's not true. Women go in there all the time. I hear it all the time. I have doctors telling me women go in there, they leave with a pint of blood and they're under 100 pounds. That's not true. That's exactly one of the holes in the system. Yeah, that might be at one place. There are thousands of women going into all kinds of blood donation clinics. They walk in at 101 pounds. They walk in at 99 pounds. They walk in at 98.5 pounds and they leave blood. No one's watching. No one's properly keeping an eye on them. That's misinformation right there. Sorry, misinformation, debunked. You got to get, if you know a lot, you don't think I've talked to dozens of nurses. You don't think I've actually done the work myself out there. You don't think I've talked to hundreds of doctors. You don't think I know how blood donations work. So yeah, no one's keeping an eye on them. No one's watching their weight specifically. Okay. No one's watching all of that. Their symptoms, what they've gone through. And look, most importantly, this is also about your routine blood tests. 5 vials, 7 vials, 10 vials can set you back greatly. And it's not being cared for. You're not being cared for. You're not being taught how to protect yourself. It's one of the most important areas. And what happens with medical meme information? Gets all these people better. And then they're all just getting blood drained out of them every which way. And it's going against their healing. They're getting 14 vials drawn, 7 vials drawn. You guys got to hear the episode, okay? I got about 40 vials taken from me. Oh, it's going up. I got to take a look at that. Let me see if I can get it back down here. Michaela, I got about 40 vials taken from me within a 4 to 5 month period while being chronically ill. Would I still be having issues from this without knowing? I have been following your protocols for a month and a half. Yes, you could be easily having issues. I talk about it in the episode. You could be set back for months in your healing, 3 to 6 months. Just to get your 40 vials, to get your red blood cells back, it could take 3 to 6 months to get them back to where they need to be. To get your white count back, it could be 3 to 6 months to get them back. And that's the problem. It's criminal. It's actually criminal. That's what it is. And that's the industry. It's modern day bloodletting without looking after the person. Wait till you hear the episode. If you can share this episode with anybody and everybody you know and ask them to share it, because you're going to save somebody from getting chronically ill. You're going to save somebody from getting worse, and you're going to get somebody better faster once they're able to protect themselves. You can still get blood work. You can still get blood tests because I believe in it. I support it. I want you to get your blood tested. Because you got your doctors, I want you to get your blood tested, but I'm just going to let you know there's a way to do it to protect yourself and stand up for yourself and get your blood tested right. Lorraine, yep, share. It really matters. Roshini says, has anybody heard the episode? Hey, I love your comments, by the way. You left a comment that was really, really gracious. It was very nice. It was on the last YouTube. It was on yesterday's YouTube. I'm honored. Anyway, because you understand that I am fighting for the chronically ill, that I am fighting for the people who are sick, and I'm blown away by your comment on YouTube that you left. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. Anyway, you guys, watermelon is in my hand. It's one of the tips. It's in there, but you want to hear this episode, Medical Bean Podcast at Apple Podcasts. That's the uncensored version. Link is in the description. Share it with everybody you can. Okay. And it talks about how we lose our immune systems in this modern day vampirism, and they throw out all the blood. And you can ask for half vials. I talk about all the information's in there. Okay. Yeah, really important to know. The information's in there. You love watermelon, TJ? Me too. I do too. All right. It's a really, really, really good tool for healing. Okay. You guys, I'm heading over to IG. I'm heading over to TikTok. That's where I'm going. Okay? I might crack the watermelon open on IG and TikTok. I love you guys. And Medical Bean Podcast at Apple Podcasts. Check it out.